like Gotham or whatever, and you'll be doing like a new talent night or whatever, and they'll show up and they're working stuff. They're fucking working stuff, and they're trying new stuff, and it's actually quite encouraging to see them not do well, which is so sadistic or whatever. But like, it's a little bit encouraging. You realize this is a process, and like, I mean, I've never seen him like die. I saw Jerry Seinfeld like Gotham one night, and like he was trying new stuff, and like he had notes on stage, and like some of the stuff just wasn't hitting, and like he would just move on. He had a heckler who was yelling things. And like Jerry, this was like right when he first started getting back into stand-up. So like he wasn't like in like the zone, which is like, I'm sure you guys know, you're just like in the zone. It's like some heckles you, boom, you have an answer, blah 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 blah. You're like, you just know what to do. And like I don't think he was there, so like I don't think he like really knew what to do, because he's in a special place because like he's just so fucking famous and so good that like if he's mean to someone, then he looks kind of like a fucking asshole because he's so high up and we're all so low. But at the same time, this fucker was like interrupting his flow, and so like he didn't know how mean he could be. It was really interesting to watch that conflict play out on stage. But no, like everybody's trying new stuff, and you always want to do new stuff. I mean, there's nothing sadder to me to see a comic like 4 years ago today doing the same fucking joke, and that's all they have. Like, it's depressing. Like, I
especially
I
like
hate
an
watching
open
it.
mic. Yeah, like at an open mic specifically, seeing somebody doing their super tight five that you saw them do at a showcase. Like,
well, I mean, they could have been in a coma sponsored by the government in which they got pregnant and had to deliver a baby, and that's why that's the same.
That'll.
Thank you very
Callback.
specific. Oh boy.
Also, I think I would like get a morbid sense of satisfaction from seeing Seinfeld struggle a little bit, just because I feel like he's one of the exceptions to the rule of like the you got to put in so much work till you hit it thing. Like Seinfeld, like from the way he tells it at least, kind of found the crowd and like was just naturally so good at first that he like
but he
there.
came up before internet culture.
Oh,
you
yeah,
have
yeah.
to understand.
Oh,
Like,
totally.
the reason why we're so like, I can't believe you don't have a new 5 minutes every month is because the internet, everyone films you with their phone, and then it's on the internet, and then you can't tell that joke again because they're like, oh, didn't you do that 6 months ago? What a hack. And it's like, nah, man, like, maybe that guy has been working on it, and it took 2 years to get to the meat of the joke, you know? And so Seinfeld came up when there wasn't any internet in that way.
Yeah,
it was,
well,
it was
yeah,
just
Johnny Carson and Ed McMahon were the two people that you had to like impress to become famous. You know,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Star Search and
Totally.
getting on Johnny Carson.
Totally.
Star Search.
Well, I think Ellen DeGeneres was so funny. Like, she was like into stand-up for like 2 years, and then she was on Johnny Carson, fucking killing it.
Yeah.
You know, so people were just like really naturally funny. Well, and actually, Jerry Seinfeld said something so interesting, and I was like, fucking go, Jerry. 100% agree with you. He was talking about the Kardashians. He was like, I caught my daughter watching the Kardashians on her phone, and I got so mad at her because it's trash. I don't understand reality TV. Like, when I came up, like the stuff that you saw on TV was the best of the best. You know, this is like people working the whole life, like striving and like having the best material. You know, sort of like dog eat dog, survival of the fittest. What you saw on TV was the best stuff that people could create, and like Kardashians is not that at all. And she was like, he was like, I yelled at her, and I never yelled at her, but I yelled at her when she was watching that because it made me so angry. And I mean, I totally agree with him. I really do, because I mean, you want the best. You want to see the best. And one of the things that like a lot of people talk about here in New York is that, you know, we're in like a heyday for stand-up comedy, and a lot of people are like, I wonder when the bust is going to happen. You know, when the boom is going to end, and like it'll be like, you know, a drought. No one's going to watch it because there's a huge demand for comedy right now, especially stand-up specials with like Netflix and Hulu and Amazon, blah, 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 all this stuff, CISO. And so a lot of people are like, I wonder when the crash is going to happen, you know, when people are going to stop wanting comedy. And like, what the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck?
Well,
There was a
actually,
big crash in the 90s.
Can I be honest? Like, there's a part of me that thinks it's like legitimately on its way based on the politics that are happening right now. Because when you're talking about Seinfeld, it made me think about how we judge Seinfeld on a different meter than we judge each other, right? Like, if any of the four of us did something in a comedy faux pas kind of way, people would eventually let it go in a short time because, you know, we're just people, we're just trying stuff out, we're there to be forgiven. But because Jerry Seinfeld is held to a higher standard, is up on a pedestal, he's not allowed to make mistakes the same way that other people are. Same with all the shit that's been happening in the past couple weeks. From like Kathy Griffin doing the political satire thing that she then had to give an apology for, and then don't get me wrong, like I don't think Bill Maher should be dropping the N-bomb, but if he wants to make a political joke on his political comedy show, that's fine. Same with people like Colbert, and because those people are getting attacked very heavily right now, I worry that kind of stuff is actually what's going to lead to the depletion of comedy. That people are going to become too afraid to say what they really think, which is what comedy is, being as honest as possible. But if being honest gets you in trouble, well, then you're going to stop being as honest. And you're just going to do safe comedy. And there's going to be a bunch of weird family sitcoms, like The Family Matters is Back.
That's so interesting. I've never actually heard that. The mentality here is like it's an oversaturation, and that will lead to a crash, people not wanting it, the sort of like, like inflation of comedy. But like, I like your reasoning a lot. I agree with it because, I mean, I don't want to say that like comedians are like a sort of like sacred, untouchable thing, but kind of, the stuff that depends what kind of, you know, I mean, depends on what kind of comedy you do, but like a lot of certain comedy isn't supposed to make you fucking warm and fuzzy. It's supposed to make you think, and it's supposed to speak truth to power in a way that's a little bit more palatable. So like, it's not going to make everybody happy. So if you are afraid to do that, I mean, that's like the purpose of comedy, going back to the creation of like dialogue, you know? I mean, you are supposed to make fun of power. You're supposed to be this sort of like person in the ear of the leader being like, you're human. And letting
back
people,
in the day when there were kings and there were courts and there was a jester who would make fun of the court, right? That his job was to show them how silly it was, and he was like paid and taken care of by the court. They were like, make fun of me to my face. I love it. Do it up. Like, and sure, I'm sure a few of them didn't like it, and there was some trouble, but it was like a accepted thing that like started, you know, like they were like, it's fine, I'm a leader, I'll let somebody take the piss a little bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and like, one thing I will say is like, if you cross the line, you've crossed the line, and you should be called out for it, but like, your career shouldn't be destroyed. You know what I mean? Like, your career shouldn't be over. I feel like in Kathy Griffin, yes, it wasn't bad taste, yes, it wasn't funny, but like, I mean, this bitch has been around for a long time. She's paid her dues. People know she's not a piece of garbage. You know what I mean? So like, the fact that like her career is like, I mean, at this point, done. All of her shit's been canceled. Nobody wants to work with her. She's like pariah. I don't think that's right. I don't think that's fair. I mean, especially like when you try out a new joke in front of an audience, you have no idea how it's going to be received. You really don't. You know, every time that I go up, I'm trying new stuff. Like, I mean, they're there for a show, and like for them, they're there to enjoy themselves. So like for me, I'm there to test stuff. You know, I'm there working things. I'm there. They're test subjects, you know? It's a different thing. And, like, the first time you do something, it doesn't land, but you need to take risks. You need to try. You need to find the line and, like, kind of figure out how far you can go, what you can say, what works, what's funny, what's not funny. And, like, I mean, I think anytime that you discourage people to take risks, you discourage innovation, and you discourage truth. And it's a scary thing. I agree with you. I mean, I think it's a really worrisome thing.
And then Howie Mandel is famous. You know, like that's what, you know, it's like.
Is he still famous?
No,
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
No, he's still famous.
Yeah, but in a secondary kind of way.
I honestly...
Yeah.
But Kathy Griffin's a D-list celebrity. That's what she sells herself as. Who gives a shit what she says, right?
I mean, I feel like that's
no,
what the
I'm
hack
super annoyed by the
comedians
whole
in the
thing because
90s
I'm like,
were.
she's not allowed to just say whatever. Like, Madonna said, I'm going to kill the president, and, like, everyone was like, oh, Madonna. Like,
did she say it with an English accent?
Yeah.
So, because that's different.
Oh, maybe she did say it. So people think she's from the UK, so it's all right.
That's
Yeah.
so funny.
It's so funny.
She
Same
says
thing with
that.
Johnny Depp. He's from Philadelphia.
Yeah, Johnny Depp's on a French island, and he's all
Yes.
like, "Oh, the American government is no good." You're like, "Aren't you from Illinois, bro?"
And you have like
Exactly,
a
it's something.
$200,000 bottle of wine day, like drinking problem. Yeah,
That's
like
odd.
yeah. No, but
I want that
Sometimes
type
it's
of
good
money.
to be famous, and sometimes it's bad. That's what we've learned.
yeah. It's I mean, yeah, it's good when you're like coming up because the risks are low stake. You know, it's like if you do something that like really upsets that room. That room is pretty much, like that room's going to dissipate and get over it because they're not like as invested in it.
That's one thing that I'm worried about because I eventually would like to try stand-up comedy, but it's such a small group here. Like, if you say something that's upsetting to that group, I feel like you could be shut out from several of the theaters here if you upset a certain, higher-ranking group of people.
Groups.
And I feel like that line is well defined enough that it's like, it's a little too boxed in, I think, but I feel like it's you get like a couple of strikes. I think. I don't think like.
And just write jokes about how fun it is to be a liberal, and you're fine.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Is like.
That's what Austin, Texas is all about.
The only thing that keeps
Blue state, we're a blue state. That's what it's like. Just sing that song at the beginning and end of everyone in your, and then they'll be like, hey, "This guy gets it."
Yeah. The only thing that really keeps you from like the comedy community here in Austin, just from absorbing you and taking you in, is not committing the time that they do. Like honestly.
Yeah, that's true.
Like taking risks and stuff. They like if you don't it's like if you go up there and you do something and it bothers people, they'll tell you when you get down, and if you're not like, well, I think I could get it to work though, like if it's like one of those things that really upsets people and you just go, all right, I got other stuff, I can work on other things, and that's if you can like take that note, they'll if you just keep coming back with the same kind of, I don't know, whatever it is, that they get bothered by kind of stuff, they're not gonna let you get back on. But it's the only thing, like they will just shut you out if you don't like commit the time they commit. That's the only thing.
It's true. It's like January at the gym. It's like everybody's like, who are these people? They've come in to work out for 1 month.
Real ants.
They're taking up the machine that I use every day. I'm here every day for 16 years.
That guy's wearing jeans right now.
What is he doing? Is he sweating? Is he literally sweating going 1 mile an hour on the treadmill? What the fuck?
His shorts have pockets.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Don't shower here. Don't shower here. That's what it's like.
One thing, okay, so nothing really, offends me, in comedy. I really, there's things, some things that people will say that, will make me connect with them less. So, nothing really is go fuck yourself, don't be seen with me. I reject that mentality. I don't like it. But one of the things that, I really, as far as, offending people and taking risks, I really don't like people who offend just to offend to get attention. I think that's stupid, and I think it's wrong, and I think it gives a bad name to risk takers and truth tellers, too. Yeah. Because, I really think this is, representative of a lot of millennials, because I think that, it really... we become the sort of mentality of get attention just to get attention. Who gives a fuck what you got attention for? And it's a sort of reality show mentality of I just want to be seen. I'm not doing a damn fucking thing, but I just want to be seen. So people will do things, people will say things to get a reaction. And I mean, look at people. I think I'm hoping that the trend is leaving, because I think people like Milo Yiannopoulos. Do you guys know who he is, Milo?
Oh yeah, my phone auto corrects his name into like half the things I'm saying. I had no idea. I don't know why it learned that name.